800 Granger, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
The KFH Studios, powered by Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic.
We have a stalled out vehicle causing a traffic hazard. This is eastbound on Kellogg between Rock and Webb, and they actually have the right lane closed there eastbound, so watch out for that. Traffic update from 98.7 at 1330 KNSS. In the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, I'm Jed Chambers.
Weather.
Get ready for numerous showers and storms, mainly this morning. Things will dry out some this afternoon. Mostly cloudy and cooler, high 84. Mostly cloudy, 72 tonight. May see a couple of storms, especially north of Wichita. Otherwise, it's cloudy skies on Friday morning, turning mostly sunny, high 93. Sunshine and upper 90s this weekend. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next, exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Broncos rookies reported to camp Wednesday, and the team got a deal done with their first-round pick, corner Jahdae Barron, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. With Barron's agreement, 31 of 32 first-rounders have signed with their squads, leaving the Bengals' Shamar Stewart as the last of the class unsigned. Meanwhile, the Chargers are the first team to begin full squad training camp practices today. General Manager Joe Ortiz saying running back Najee Harris is likely to start camp on the non-football injury list after suffering what his agent called a superficial eye injury in a fireworks accident. And the Cowboys open training camp next week in Oxnard, with contract talks still looming for pass rusher Micah Parsons, who's entering the final year of his rookie deal. Speaking at his football camp in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Parsons saying he's not worried, quote, "I'm just going to get mine no matter what." This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month. Then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester.
And hey there, good morning, everybody. How are you? Happy Thursday to you here on Sports Daily. We are glad to be with you yet again for the next few hours here. Glad on KFH, glad on our video streams, 12 News Connected, Facebook, YouTube, X, glad on our apps, the Odyssey app, the iHeart Radio app, all the different ways you take in the show. We're glad you're here. Alongside Tommy Castor, I'm Jacob Albrock. Max Power is producing for us. We can take your calls at 869-1240. We can take your comments via our video streams, all in line for you. A lot of fun stuff to get to on the show today, including the Kansas City Chiefs opening salvo. They get a head start on the trade deadline, make a move. Not, the move of significance, but a move of significance. We'll get into the details there. Rumors swirling that the Chiefs are already eyeballing their next big contract extension. We'll tell you what we're talking about with that. Tim Fitzgerald expected to stop by in the next hour on the program as well. We'll talk a little K-State. We'll talk a little college sports in general. It's all coming for you. It's all what's on tap, brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company. Locations east, west, and historic Delano, featuring a rooftop deck. Wichita Brewing Company, it's pizza and beer made here. Tommy, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You didn't even mention that today is the opening day of the Open Championship at Royal Portrush.
Oh, yeah.
Over
the British
across
Open.
the pond.
They're playing it.
They call it the Open Championship.
Yeah, they
but,
do. They do.
I know
It's
you call
America.
it the British Open. The official name is the Open Championship. But that is underway now. The first round is in play, going on currently. So that's one major thing going on right now.
I actually have that on the TV. Westwood is that the right? Yeah, Westwood's probably the biggest name up on the leaderboard. There's John Rahm's up there, I guess. But we'll see. The weather's crappy as it is oftentimes over in the British Open. It's so funny because this is like some hill. Like I don't even care that much, but I'm really stubborn about that one for no good reason, except they changed it. And, I grow up calling it the British Open, and the Open to me is the U.S. Open. So I'm going to keep calling it the British Open. Are they even playing?
You could call it the Open Championship. That's the official.
Yeah, no, I know what they want me to call it,
Sure.
but I don't want to. So I'm going to call it the British Open.
Fair enough.
The Open is the U.S. Open.
Fair enough. Scotty Scheffler is up there as well. I mean, which is inevitable.
What's his score? I just got it on.
He's 2 under par currently. The leaders are at 4 under. There are 2 of them. Both guys I'm not familiar with. Matt Fitzpatrick is there. John Rahm is there. Phil Mickelson is there.
They don't even know how to do it. I'm looking at a leaderboard right now, and Scheffler's one of the guys at 2 under, and they don't have him listed on that screen. Like, if you want people to watch your golf tournament, put Scotty Scheffler on the main screen there of what his score is. Because when I just flipped it on, like, if I know Scheffler's playing well, my interest is good. That's the U.S. Open. He's on that leaderboard. I'll be whatever. It doesn't matter. I do love this tournament. It's one of my favorites because it's hard. It looks different. It's weird. The weather's usually crappy. So it's fun. I do love this.
You still have, when you watch the British Open, quote unquote, I think you're viewing it through the lens of the Revolutionary War, right?
That's correct.
You're still going all the way back to the 1700s. And
that's correct. Yes, that's absolutely right.
And the founding of our nation and all that. Little bitterness, still going on there.
Even it's not bitterness. It's a little gloating. It's not bitterness. It's gloating. Okay. We're so close to July 4th, and there are friends and everything now. But just a little reminder: this is yours. The U.S. Open's ours, and we won that right 259 years ago. Is that right? Is that good math? I think we're 259 years old. So that's happening. We'll keep you apprised of that. I'm not sure. Do we have Hadwin or Stevens or Woodland in this tournament?
I know we do not have Hadwin.
Okay.
I don't know about the other 2.
We'll check on that. Those are our 3 local pro golfers that we kind of follow a little bit here on these tours. This one snuck up on me. I will admit, until you said it earlier this week, I forgot that one was this week. So that'll be fun. I do enjoy the tournament, whatever you want to call it. What I've found is most people who are casual with golf are with me and just call it the British Open. Most more serious golfers like you, like our buddy Brandon Zenner in the office, will call it the Open Championship on the name. Did you catch any? So I don't make a habit of anymore in life, and I didn't watch any of it, but I saw the Shane Gillis clips of the ESPYs last night.
I saw some of it. I followed a little bit of the content.
It's a bold move. It's funny too, because like I open up, somebody sent me one of the clips, of course. And I'm like, oh yeah, Shane Gillis is doing, because I generally think he's pretty funny. But again, you got to understand, for me with comedy, like anything's on the table. I don't really care, not easily offended, all that stuff. So, and he kind of feels old school to me. And sometimes he misses and takes it too far. That's fine. He fully admits it. And that's whatever. I tell dumb jokes all the time. So I'm watching the clips, and the first thing when I actually go to open the app is on the headlines, outrage sparking, which is my least favorite adjective, verb. Sparking. How do you spark? Outrage sparking over Shane Gillis. And I'm like, oh no. And then I go and I click it, and all it is people talking about how funny he is. And I'm like, what outrage is sparking here? Like, I don't see any of it. But anyway, there were some edgy, we'll call them, jokes made. And I don't know, like ESPN knew exactly what they were getting into. Like, this guy makes he doesn't pretend to be not edgy. He's always edgy. And it was a bold move. I thought it was a refreshing move to get a little edgy with it.
From a comedy perspective, he kind of reminds me of a guy like Norm Macdonald, where it's
he actually told Norm Macdonald's joke.
Okay.
Norm Macdonald in trouble at the ESPYs last night.
I mean, pushing that envelope and
I love Norm Macdonald.
Doing it in such a casual way.
Yes.
And I'd like to think too, not to get way too off topic, but I'd like to think too, we've moved
there's more of an appetite for it.
The cancel culture era, where it's kind of like, you know what, like, it's exhausting. Let's just have some fun and everybody lighten up.
Well, either laugh at his joke or don't laugh at his joke. Like the worst offense of a comedian is that they're not funny. So like, if you don't think they're funny, that's way worse than being offended by what they say. Not laughing at what they say is like the worst offense for a comedian.
Yeah.
So yeah, Norm Macdonald's a great comp. I agree, and I love Norm Macdonald, for the record. Like, Norm Macdonald's fantastic. I miss him a great deal. So yeah, that's probably a lot of the reason why I do think some.
I mean, Gillis on the ESPY stage is throwing out shots about immigration and Juan Soto being deported and Jeffrey Epstein and like all these different things. Like it was a bold move. I think it was the right move.
I do too. He's the hottest name in comedy. I'm not going to make a bold statement without looking, but I would imagine that was probably as high a viewership on the ESPY. I mean, there's a reason Saturday Night Live's already brought him back. He's on all the podcasts. There's a reason Bud Light put him in a commercial to try and, offset some of the cancel. Like, it's all so.
He was supposed to be on SNL, correct? Like, wasn't he supposed to be a cast member?
I think he was a cast member, and then
said like a day, and then I think they found somebody found old tweets or something of his.
Yeah, he would look again. Like, if you don't think the joke is funny, don't laugh. That's the worst. That's the worst you can do to a comedian. Let's all try to laugh at some crazy stuff that's happening. And he took some shots. I thought of the clips that I saw, he had some good ones.
Hey, look, we got to laugh sometimes so we don't cry, right? And that's kind of what
the point. That's the point of a comedian. We'll come back. The Royals make their first move. We'll discuss next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
On KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily, the summer concert series back at the Capitol Federal Amphitheater in Andover. The series returns tomorrow with Big Fat Fun live on stage. Gates open at 6:30. Show starts at 8. Enjoy free live music, food trucks, and Friday night fun all summer long. Full schedule, kfhradio.com. We rejoin you here, and we'll talk some Royals today as the second half officially gets underway tomorrow. But they make their first move, a little bit of a surprise on the timing of it. But they bring back a familiar face. Just got a look at Adam Frazier while he was with the Pirates in a series not too long ago in Kansas City. And Tommy, they get a little experience. There were some reports that they would like to bring in some, veteran leadership and things in a versatile defensive role or a versatile positional role. And that's what they get with Frazier. He apparently was loved in that clubhouse. So it makes some sense. Is it what they need offensively? No, it's not. Although I'll say that Adam Frazier is having a better year offensively, significantly better year offensively than he did a year ago in his lone season with the Royals. So there's something there, but he kind of like a million Royals this year. He can play the infield. He can play the outfield. They can move him around. But I think they just want him there because they like him. And he can do all the things that they might need him to do in a pinch.
Yeah, I mean, look, to your point, he has had a better season this year with the Pirates than he had last year with the Royals. He barely batted 200 last season for the Royals, and he has raised that batting average with the Pirates, a 255 batting average. He's been able to do to be more consistent offensively in his time with the Pirates this year. And I don't know if there have been, mechanic changes that that he has made over the course of his time with the Pirates this season or what. I don't think that it's a terrible move. I mean, his WAR so far this year is about flat. It's slightly above 0, where he had a negative WAR in his season last year with the Royals. So if he can continue that, I mean, it could be a net positive to provide some depth and that sort of thing on the roster. Is he an everyday offensive threat? No, I don't think he is. And he wasn't last year. And even though he's got a higher average this year with the Pirates, I still don't think he is for the remainder of this season with the Royals. So my only concern or my only hope is that this doesn't prohibit the Royals from doing anything else, because I don't think it solves what ails them offensively.
Yeah, I don't think it has any impact on what they plan on doing ultimately. I think they saw an opportunity. It's really interesting. Cam Devaney, if I'm saying that right, is the guy they traded away. I believe he just got called up with
He did.
To make his debut, and he doesn't end up making it with the Royals, which is kind of interesting. But the one thing I'll say about Devaney, who's 28-year-old or who's never been called up, is he does have some pop. He does hit some home runs. He had 18 in the minor leagues this year. In AAA, had 19 a year ago. But there's a reason for that. Is that a better option than bringing in a guy like Adam Frazier, who's been there, who the Royals know, who knows the locker room, who knows the culture? Probably not. Frazier is being brought there. All it does to me, I don't know how much Frazier will play. Nick Lofton has earned the chance to ride out his little individual heater. So he'll probably play 2-3 games a week while they let Lofton ride this out a little bit. And if Lofton slows down, then yeah, he probably plays more often. But one thing with Adam Frazier, and it was so funny too, Vinny Pasquantino made a joke during the swing off, a great baseball personality, Mike Farron, did something about like we should have a swing off of guys who just do their job at the plate, hit singles the other way, punch one through the hole. And Vinny Pasquantino chimed in. He was like, the Adam Frazier swing off.
Yeah.
And that was before any of this happened. So I think there is some of that too. Like the Royals do need some bottom of the lineup. All right, we're going to have a productive out here, guys. And that's what Adam Frazier will do for them. And honestly, like, if he is that big a culture fit, if he meant that much to the locker room, a small move like this tells me that the Royals are leaning into trying to make the postseason. And I think,
yeah, I think so too. And one other thing about Frazier, I like to try to look at trends with players and how things are moving for them. And Frazier this season has progressively gotten better at the plate as the season has gone on. Yeah. He batted 244 in the month of April, 253 in the month of May, 262 in the month of June. And so we're seeing consistent improvement, and he's batting actually over 300 in the month of July in a small sample in 6 games and 9 at bats. So he's progressively gotten better as the season has gone on offensively. And so if he can, again, continue that, he can be a nice change of pace and a good depth piece for the Royals. But I do think, and you bring up a really good point, I do think from a 30,000 foot view, this to me indicates again that the Royals are going to try to improve, maybe at the margins, maybe in a larger way, to make a playoff push this season. I think if they were like, look, it's probably not going to happen for us this season, where, we don't feel like we can do what we need to do, then they might have not traded for Frazier, or they, it could have been an indication that, they're not going to do anything at all or sell off some pieces. But I agree with you. I do think that this is an indication that they are looking to add.
They take on salary here, obviously, which tells you too that like they're not going to do that for nothing. Why would you, right? Even if you were just going to stand pat, right? Like that, you added salary. It's not of insignificance if you're the one writing the checks, you wouldn't think this is an insignificant move because your payroll just went up. So I think that we just need to like look beyond the surface with it, realize that likely every single person in that organization is glad Frazier is back. And I think that has some value for sure. And that he's like, he can maybe be more productive than what you've had at the plate. Now, does it guarantee that they are going to go make some big splash at the deadline? Absolutely not. This may be their way of saying, we're this purgatory we've talked about, like we don't want to mortgage the future yet, but we do want to still try to run this out. So one small move to maybe push it over the edge without a big move coming, I think is very, very, very possible. Does it make it less likely that they trade Seth Lugo? Probably not. I think the Seth Lugo part of this basically comes down to what teams are willing to offer, right? Like what are teams really going to offer for a rental player? I think that'll have a bigger impact on Seth Lugo than anything, unless they come out of the gates here screaming hot, stay really hot in July and climb back into it. Then I would say they're going to say we're not trading Seth Lugo.
I think they would have to be wowed big time by another team. And, look, like there are some big market teams that feel like they need another arm in the rotation to be contenders and that, have big rosters and big payrolls and all of that, and have assets that they could dangle out there. And so I think if I'm JJ Picollo right now, I'm going to tell teams that inquire about Seth Lugo, we don't really want to trade him, but give us your best offer, give us your best and final offer, and we'll at least listen to it. And I think it would have to blow JJ Picollo away to make that move, at least if I'm him. It'd have to really wow me and move the needle significantly to make a move on Seth Lugo, knowing where the Royals are right now.
For sure. And that makes sense. And that may be the case whether they're buyers or sellers. That just may be the case in general. I don't think they're going to trade Lugo. I think they're going to go for it. And so that takes us into the other part of the Royals conversation. Don't do anything yet. There was a point in this season where I thought they should like pounce early because it was so clear after the month of May that the offense was going to really struggle this year. It was just staring at us in the face. Like the offense is not going to be able to get it done as it currently stands. And at that point, it was like they should look at doing something right now. Like there are bad teams. Remember we were talking about Luis Robert and like all of these guys. And we were like, well, who could they go get now? Who's even on the market? That's changed for me. Now it's the opposite. It's like, well, no, ride this out literally until the Braves series at minimum and see where you stand. You've got 9 games here. See where things stand at the end of those 9 games. And if you're within 3, which is absolutely possible, then go for it. Because the players on the table that they would trade for, I think, are either rentals, therefore not that expensive, or shouldn't be. And the Royals shouldn't be in the business of overpaying for a rental, or they're controllable pieces that potentially help you next year anyway, right? Like if I'm the Royals and I want to be hyper aggressive at the deadline, I include one of the catchers and I go try to get a bat that helps me also next year. That's where I'd start. If that's not on the table, then I call the Diamondbacks and I go down a prospect tier, but maybe I give them 2 or 3 of those guys for a guy like Suarez. That's an aggressive move. Or you stand pat and you just say, Jack Caglione, let's hope you start hitting better and everybody else stays hot. And the offense is just better because it's a better offense than it's been on paper this year.
Do you think, and I think this has been something that's been bouncing around in my head recently over the last few days, and it came up when I read that the Royals have the easiest schedule remaining in the American League from now until the end of the season. Can they get to where they need to go without making any other moves? Like, they make this move for Adam Frazier around the margin.
Yes.
Can they make the postseason without doing anything else?
Yes, they can. Absolutely, they can. And that's been a part of it for me. Like, I'm fine if they don't do anything, because again, if they think about what they've been doing lately. There are some things out there, and I don't know about the health of Hunter Harvey. I would like to see him get a bullpen piece, but honestly, their bullpen is fine if they don't. Think about where it is this year versus where it was last year. Even if Harvey never pitches, their bullpen is significantly better. If you want to talk about additions, think about it this way. And I only say this not to as a cop-out, but Daniel Lynch coming back is an addition to the bullpen. Cole Reagan's coming back is a huge addition if he's healthy, potentially to the rotation. You're not going to go trade for more meaningful guys than those. Jack Caglione takes even a small step in the right direction, and you've got all of a sudden an outfielder that can hit for power consistently. That's what they're looking for on the market, right? So, all of these things that they need, they sort of have them internally coming down the pipeline. And I would tell you that I've thought all along that this team was talented enough. If I look at these teams they're competing with in the wild card, and you just look at the rosters, I think the Royals have a better balanced top to bottom roster than almost all of them. So, yeah, they still got to do it. They still got to go play better, which for a lot of this season they haven't done. But it's right there. They have it already. I think that they are an interesting I think that they're an interesting betting team right now, because I'll bet you that let me just look at some of these futures. Their World Series right now is 100-1. That's almost double what it was to start the season. Their odds to make a wild card, so to win the division, nobody's going to take that, right? That's also 100-1. Nobody's going to take that. But just maybe have them making the postseason or something like that, because yes, with the schedule that they play, with the talent they have on the roster, with the law of averages in baseball that say Bobby Witt Jr. is probably hitting for more power in the second half. Salvador Perez, we've already seen his return to what we would expect out of him. Jack Caglione, we don't know yet because he's never done it in the big leagues. But the expectation of him as a prospect is to be a little bit more consistent, and numbers nerds have told us that he's about the most unlucky hitter in baseball. So all of this stuff mixes into it. So yeah, I think they're fine. Are they capable of reaching the postseason? Yes, they're a better roster than a lot of the teams they're chasing. So for sure they are to me. Now they still have to go do it, right? And that's been a challenge for them this year. But I think they're more talented than the Rays. I think they're more talented certainly than the Angels. I think they're more talented than the Twins, who may sell. They're more talented than the Guardians. So you're right there. I don't know if I think they're more talented than the Rangers, who also have great pitching. I don't know that I think they're more talented than the Mariners or the Yankees, who are the other teams. The Red Sox are a very interesting team. They're going to need somebody else to underperform too, because right now the Yankees, Red Sox, and Mariners are those three teams. I would say those are the three teams plus the Rangers and the Rays that you're the most worried about. I'm not worried about the Angels. I'm not worried about the Twins. And you have some hope in a soft schedule that maybe they don't play a soft schedule and you can get out ahead of them because you're right there with them anyway.
I do think that with the addition of Adam Frazier, that there are a couple of different directions that I would be really excited about. First and foremost, if they were to go out and make a big blockbuster splash with a guy like Suarez, or, there are other names that are out there, Adolis Garcia, potentially, whoever it is, if they go make a big splash for a big bat, that would get me really excited. Obviously, I think it would galvanize and rally the fan base and really show and prove that the Royals are all in to make the postseason this year. And I think that down the stretch, that's going to be really important with the weaker schedule and all of that. I think it also shows the current roster that, hey, we're all in and we need everybody to pitch in. And we're, from a front office perspective, we're going out there and we're going to provide reinforcements to you to get to where we want to be. I think that could be a really important addition. And I would be really, really jacked up for that. But if that doesn't happen, I think the next best option, and they could always accomplish both of these, but I think the next best option would be that they need more bullpen help. in my opinion. And I know that even from a depth perspective, the rotation is looking a little thin right now. But I think that if they don't go and make a substantial add in the lineup, then they need to have reinforcements in the bullpen to help make sure that if the Royals have a bunch of games down the stretch like they've had earlier this season, where the margin is not very, very large, and you're talking about one-run games for the Royals potentially getting an opportunity to win, you need to have elite bullpen pitching. So they need to go get another bullpen arm to make sure that whether it's, if Estevez or Ursig are not available or day off or whatever, that you feel confident in your bullpen to be able to get you to where you need to be. A huge reason why the Royals were able to go on that 16-4 stretch or whatever it was earlier on in the season was because the margin was super small and the bullpen got the job done and held on to leads. We haven't seen that quite as much over the last few weeks. So if they don't make an addition in the lineup, they absolutely have to do something in the bullpen.
So the Royals sit currently top 10 in bullpen ERA, bullpen whip, and they're 12th in batting average against. So they're definitely an above average bullpen. I also love the back end of their bullpen with Ursig and Estevez. I think it goes deeper than that. Schreiber's been kind of their good Houdini artist. Zerpa gives them a lefty, and I know that's weird for me to say that out loud, but he does. And they'll get Lynch back. I think they're probably okay, but that you can always use a bullpen arm. A bullpen arm also helps you if you're worried about the shakiness of the rotations, health right now. A bullpen arm is going to be beneficial there. I would also tell you, though, that I think, Tommy, when and if Reagans comes back, they're going to gain a bullpen piece because they're going to get Lorenzen back there. So they get that a little bit too. But yeah, every team should be looking to add bullpen pieces, especially when you're the Royals, if you can do it like they did a year ago and go find bullpen pieces that help you next year also, right? Like just like they did with Ursig and Harvey. Not a rental, but maybe a guy that you can build into the bullpen. Every move the Royals make should help them next year. And then they're good moves, no matter what the price tag is, right? All right, we'll come back. We'll continue the conversation when we return. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
On KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily. Glad to be with you here on a Thursday. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Castor coming at you. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. They're doing a lot of tree work right now out at Crestview. The damage from the storms, I think, sort of inspiring some things. If you haven't been out there lately, like in the last handful of days, and you go out, it's probably going to look a little different, going to play a little different, but it'll be great. Give Crestview a call, ask them about all the different memberships. My family is out there at the pool often. I think yours is too, Tommy, at least once a week. And my wife is out there playing tennis lots of times a week. Joining leagues, doing all kinds of different things. So it is more than just the golf. Of course, the golf is great, but it's great family atmosphere as well. Give them a call. Ask them about all their great memberships. We come back in. Let's continue this Royals conversation. So I think that there's I don't know, 50-50 chance that Frazier is the move that they make and they don't do anything else. I think what happens over the next 3 weeks will tell us. But like let's say they come out, Tommy, and they win all 3 of those series. They go, what would that be, 6-3 in these next 3 before that Atlanta series, and they're sitting there within 3 games of the wild card. Is that enough to like push the pedal down and go all in? I'm trying to imagine a scenario where if they don't want to go big at the deadline now, what would inspire them to go big? And I think we're trying to think of it that way, but I mean, probably they're just making calls on everybody to check on prices, right? Like it's not it's probably not as much over what happens there. I mean, that's going to have an impact if it goes real good or real bad, but likely it's more about, okay, here are the players we like and here's what they cost. And that's what they'll base their decisions off of. Can we get a player that helps us more than just this year? That would be where I would start if I were JJ Picollo. Let's just kick the tires on Eugenio Suarez. You guys are selling. What's your price tag on him? What would it take to do something like that? Those are the conversations. So I don't know what they're going to end up doing. It could be nothing, and I'm fine with it. If Frazier's the only move they make, Tommy, I'm good. I gotta call it now because I can't get too caught up in the moment. Like, I would be okay if that's what they decide to do. If they win the next 9 games that they play, I will still be okay if they don't do anything else.
Yeah, I'm going to read a paragraph that Ann Rodgers, the Royals beat reporter for Major League Baseball, wrote when she was reviewing the first half before the All-Star break. She said, and I quote, "The Royals are in the undecided boat, but don't expect them to tear it all down and be full sellers. Ownership in the front office still believe in the 2025 squad, and they fully intend to contend in 26. That means building around the core pieces they currently have with hopes of finding pieces that can complement and help them this year and beyond." That was before they acquired Adam Frazier, that she wrote that. And so, and I would consider Adam Frazier a complementary piece. He's not a high profile piece. He's not a big blockbuster move, but he's a complementary piece. And JJ Picollo talked about the acquisition for Adam Frazier. And Picollo said that the big reason was because they don't have depth. And he went on to say, we need to get better in all areas, but depth is important. So clearly he fills a role that they needed. They need, not a major drop off going from the main position players to the bench. And I think that we can all say and recognize that when the Royals go to the bench, there is a clear drop off in production and in talent. Nothing against a guy like John Rave, but when they go to him, there's a clear drop off in talent. They go to a guy like Tyler Tolbert, who does have speed. He can steal bases and things like that, but there's a clear drop off in talent and production. And so having an additional versatile depth piece, I do think is important. So yeah, I mean, does the Adam Frazier move get me all excited? I mean, not by itself, but in the context of what the Royals are trying to do overall, it does indicate to me that they are going to go all in.
Yeah, I agree. Like, that's a good way for her to put it. Like, what selling to me makes the least sense now. Like, there's no reason to nothing. Again, the one outcome that would push you over the edge there is if they have a terrible 3-week or a 3-4 series here, 2 weeks till the deadline, and fall to like 10 games back. That would be the one where, like, okay, sell. Go ahead and sell. But only Seth Lugo. I mean, right? He's really the only rental. Maybe there's some arms you could sell. The other thing that the Royals can do here as a seller, what if you're a seller? What if you trade Lugo, but you still find an opportunity to flip one of your prospects for a bat that's controllable into next year? Don't you still need to have those conversations also? You know what I mean? Like, if some of these guys are available because their team's not good and they're not going to be available in the offseason, or you really like the player, you could still do that even if you don't think you're going to make the postseason. Because the reality for the Royals is their window is next year too. Like, they're going to have enough pitching next year, you'd think, at least from what we're looking at right now, even without Lugo. You're going to have Reagans, you're going to have Bubic, you're going to have Cameron, you're potentially then going to be able to have Lynch, you're going to have Waka. Like, you'd still think the Royals are right in a position next year to do the same thing. So you could even be a seller at the deadline and find a way to buy if you're the Royals. Like, it really is all out there. So why not just have every conversation now and see what sticks? And
again, I am a believer that they will listen. They should. That's the responsible thing to do, to listen in on offers for Seth Lugo, because that's going to be, number one, the most risk as far as can the Royals bid for his services going into next year realistically? Or are they pretty much going to be resigned to the fact that if Lugo, like when Lugo becomes a free agent, declines that player option, that they're not going to be able to get him back? So that is the only risk or the main risk going into this offseason. And then also recognizing that he's going to be the guy that would provide the most significant value in return. So I do think it's the responsible thing to do. If JJ Picollo was flat out like, he's not on the trade block, we're not even going to listen to offers for him, we're going to keep him, that's irresponsible. Even with the Royals in the position that they're in right now, you have to listen to offers for the guy that will give you the most value in return. And right now, with the way that he's pitching and the contract situation and all of that, he's going to be the most valuable player that the Royals could potentially move at the deadline. So you absolutely have to listen to offers. Whether or not you take the offer is a completely different equation altogether. And there are so many different things that the Royals would have to consider before they make that decision to move on from him.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks of baseball to play.
And I think I still think it's unlikely. I think it's unless it's a major haul that they're going to get in return that helps them right now and in the future, and it will significantly upgrade their offense, I think the Royals listen and then probably politely decline.
It's unlikely that happens, by the way, even though Lugo will be the best player on the market, probably, or in the conversation for, he's a rental.
Or at least the best pitcher that's going to be on the block.
He's a rental, and history recently tells us that the price tag, the value of rentals has gone down in Major League Baseball from where it was 10 years ago. There are also other things happening. Like I've heard the Twins might have interest in trading a guy like Joe Ryan. If you're the Royals too, and you're in this Bobby Witt Jr. window, a guy like Joe Ryan, he is unreal. He's got 2.5 years of control left. If you're the Royals, and I know it's in division, but you should be in on that conversation too. Like the Royals need to approach this deadline without more than just this year's playoff aspirations. That's the top priority. Just don't waste an opportunity to make a good decision one way or the other that could help you in future years too, that don't have anything to do with this year, because it is fringy. It is still, I don't call it a long shot, but it's still fringy on whether they can reach the postseason. So don't be afraid to make a move either as a sell or a buy that could also help you next year, because you can disguise it this year, right? You can disguise it as it has something to do with this year when really it doesn't even have to.
Let me ask you this. Is there anything that the Royals can do that would surprise you? Any direction that they would go that would a move that they make, or when it's all said and done, you look back on it and you're like, man, that I did not expect that. That was shocking.
Overpaying for a rental would surprise me. Probably overpaying like a bit. And I say overpaying relatively, like making a big move as far as what the Royals trade away for a player they can't control beyond this year would surprise me. Suarez is a really interesting name just because he's on the block. But if they gave up a lot to get him, that would surprise me. If they gave up a little bit to get him, that wouldn't surprise me. But I think that move comes more if they go white hot. I think that's the least likely move that they would do. Frazier, we got to pay attention to this Frazier move. That could be their addition. Like it really could be. And again, I would be okay with it. Like it could be that. Like this, they could be good with that. Because again, who out there is going to have a bigger impact on this team than Cole Reagan's coming back? Who out there is going to have a bigger impact on this team than Daniel Lynch coming back? Who out there is going to have a bigger impact on this team than Jack Caglione heating up and becoming more of what they hope out of him long term? I don't think they can acquire anybody at the deadline that is a potential bigger positive impact than any three of those things.
You're correct, but none of those things are guaranteed. I mean, Cole Reagans is on the shelf.
Either is a player you trade for.
It's a rotator cuff for Cole Reagans. You never know what that's going to look like, and will he be the same guy? I hope so. I'm optimistic, but you never know that. Daniel Lynch is, different. Like I think that he'll probably be fine, but there's no guarantee that Jack Caglione figures it out this season. It may be a longer process to get him to where he needs to be. If you go and you trade for somebody, and I know you just said that it's not guaranteed with the player you trade for, but it could be more likely. You could have a more proven commodity, a healthy player, somebody that has produced historically or even this season, where that's a little bit more of a sure thing. There's never a sure thing, but it's a little bit more of a sure thing than pinning the hopes and dreams of your offense on a guy like Jack Caglianone. I'd like to think that there have been some positive things in the development for Jack Caglianone. I'd like to think that, to your point, and you're correct, the stats show he's the most unlucky player in Major League Baseball. All of those things, I think the law of averages will hopefully turn things around for him, but that's far from guaranteed.
But I don't think it, and the other thing real quick on that, I don't think it's all falling on his shoulders. They just went and got Adam Frazier to help in the margins, to make it not all fall on his shoulders.
Yeah.
So that his,
I'm not going to try to oversell what Adam Frazier does.
No. What I'm saying is there isn't a name out there that has the potential to make a bigger impact than what his potential is all I'm saying. Like, they could go add somebody, but it's probably not going to be a bigger impact than if it finally clicked or whatever, or they started falling for Cags. That's all I'm saying. I'm not expecting it or anything else. His ceiling is that high, I think, for all of this. We'll continue that into the next hour. We'll talk about the Chiefs. Do they have another big move already in the plans? We'll hit what that means next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Another hour of Sports Daily coming your way. Glad to be with you here in this second hour. We will talk some Kansas City Chiefs in this hour, and I don't know if we're going to call it rumors. It's sort of rumors, but some implications perhaps that they could be looking at their next big extension already. We'll continue the conversations about the Royals, the trade deadline. We should have Tim Fitzgerald in. I know he's traveling a bit, but we hope to hear from Fitz later this hour, as well as we can look across the college sports landscape. All kinds of fun stuff coming up for you, including your calls, your video comments, your voice messages. It's all available for you, whether you're listening, watching to us, or listening in the future or in the past in podcast form on the app. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company, locations east, west, and historic Delano, featuring a rooftop deck. Wichita Brewing Company is pizza and beer made here. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up, fired up here on a rainy Thursday morning. Hope everybody that has loved ones in these rain-affected areas, everybody's staying safe here as we deal with all this craziness. It's been, man, this rain, Tommy, is just, we needed it so badly, but man, it's just hammering us all over the country right now.
Not just in this country. How about where the Open Championship is right now? Rainy. It kind of feels like we're there right now with the way the weather is at Royal Portrush. So day one of the Open Championship, or as you like to call it, the British Open, going on right now. And so it's major championship golf, the final major of the year before we get into the FedEx Cup and then the Ryder Cup and all these different things. And I love it. It's one of my favorite events just because the weather is always a challenge. For the U.S. Open, it's always how difficult the course is. The Masters, it's the legacy, all of that. I love the overseas golf. I love the Europe golf because of just the weather. And this tournament is no exception.
It looks different too. The fairways are these rolling hills, and it's almost always link style, which I think is kind of cool. No Hadwin, no Stevens, no Woodland, That's all a bummer. What is the qualification for this thing?
There are a lot of different like you can do
But
a
it's
lot of
not
different
just
things.
like you're
And I don't
standing on the
know.
PGA Tour?
No, because it's not put on by the PGA Tour. It's put on by R&A, the Royal
So
and
this isn't
Ancient.
USGA or PGA.
No.
Okay. I
Nope.
thought the PGA ran this one. I
Nope, they
got
don't.
it. Well, that's a bummer. I hate none of those guys are in there. That makes me want to watch it a little bit less, but we'll see if we've got some star power up there. And Scheffler has been a little up and down, a little more than normal. But there, I see Lowry teeing off now. Rahm's been in there. There's still some names in there. Westwood's finished his first round, so we'll keep an eye on it for you as it makes its way through. I do want to take a minute here. Give me this aside, Tommy, because this may not make a lot of sense. So I don't know if you saw this story. Former Philadelphia Eagle linebacker, former Houston Texan linebacker, Brian Bremen has been battling cancer. You might have seen that story. He died, according to Adam Scheffler this morning, 38 years old, an aggressive form of cancer. Really, really sad story. Brian Bremen, he went to my alma mater, 38 years old. He was one of the craziest athletes I've ever seen. His story to get to where he made it in the NFL is pretty wild. He's a guy who I don't know how reported it was, but I know he dealt with some homelessness growing up. Like he started at like Idaho and then a junior college. Didn't ever, he never really could get his feet on the ground. Ended up at West Texas A&M, where I went to school, and just absolutely lit it up. Just a crazy, crazy athlete. Really interesting dude. We used to go to these combine workouts at a Division II school, but at the time they were really good. And they're like, just about every team would show up to these workouts. And I've said it before, quarterbacks and I don't want to send a bunch of dudes to the NFL. That's not that crazy. Watching their reactions to his workout was crazy. Like every jaw was on the floor. Like, what is, like, the measurables were off the charts. So the fact that he dealt with the things that he dealt with in his life to get there, to get to the league. You might remember there's a famous clip when he was with the Texans. When he was on special teams, he ran down and lit a dude up without his helmet on because his helmet had come off. He had the long hair. I don't know if you remember that clip. But anyway, that just to get all the way there and then to have this aggressive form of cancer and die, like it just breaks my heart. It's really
Didn't he block a punt in the Super Bowl too? Like that was kind of like
Eagles fans. He'll be like an Eagle loved player forever. But just like the wild energy that he played with, both in the pros and in college, was as contagious a football energy as you ever see. Right? He's that dude that you're just like, he gets you fired up just watching the way he plays football. But I hated seeing that story that he was dealing with that. And now, of course, this morning that he's died. It's just really sad, but a pretty unbelievable journey to the NFL for that dude. That shine a little light on that because it's awesome. It is a sad day. Sad day to see that. Great former Buffalo of West Texas A&M and had a lot of success in the NFL and a Super Bowl ring. 38 years old. My goodness. Just wanted to get that in there. I saw that during the break. It kind of bummed me out there. All right. So coming up in this hour, as we get you ready for it, the Chiefs, I don't know how much of this you saw, Tommy. There is already rumor swirling about George Karlaftis. And we'll just sort of tease it here as an appetizer, and we'll get into what this is all about. We've wondered what the Trey Smith ripple effect could be in sort of not a negative way, but in like if they sign Trey Smith, what happens with XYZ? What happens with Trent McDuffie? What happens with George Karlaftis? What happens with, whatever? Their cap number next year is a mess. It's a mess. So now there's thought though, what if it could be a positive, right? Like what if it could be a good thing that they did this Trey Smith deal in 26? The Chiefs right now, Tommy, are believe they're $75 million above the cap at the moment. they're going to have some work to do. They're going to have 60 million. They're 60 million over the cap. They're 20 million under the cap right now. Keep those two numbers in mind. We'll dig into that. But they are going to have some challenges next year. So I want to get everybody to the rumors, but then look at that. And I think I'm pretty sure that initial looked like it was maybe a front-loaded deal for Trey Smith is not the case with the salary cap and the implications specifically. I think it hits him hard next year, which is interesting. It's really interesting when you look at some of the things that have come around. By the way, have you seen any of this George Karlaftis stuff?
I have. I mean, I've seen the rumors coming out that, that he will be the next person that they, take a look at and try to get a deal done with.
Did you see where the rumors came from, though?
Yeah, same guy that.
Yeah, so that's to me, that's the interesting.
That Trey Smith was going to get done, and he's predicted some other things.
That's the interesting part. That's the part that I think will be interesting to the listeners.
Is that probably can that be a source? Like, is that a legitimate source?
Listen, is anything a legitimate source? I fight that battle with social media now all the time, because who knows, right? You've got AI bots out there aggregating crap all the time. That it's like, okay, well, I don't know. I think you have to look at a history. We'll tell you what we mean. There is an interesting. That's not for effect. I really did need to clear my throat there. There is an interesting. Do we call a reporter? He calls himself an actuary, NFL shield protector, former insider who got a 4 on his AP bio exam. So clearly likes to have fun on social media. But
his posts use Comic Sans font, if that tells you anything.
Yep, intentionally, and he pretends to be a dog, I think, if I understand this all correctly.
Correct.
But he got Sauce Gardner right. He got Trey Smith right. He got
George Pickens right. DK Metcalf right.
There are some other extensions he has sort of put out into the universe. He's called it a white boy summer because these edge rushers keep getting paid, which is that's what I'm trying to that's what I'm trying to get to. He's been right a lot. We'll just put it that way. But he's also not taking himself seriously at all, which is the exact opposite of most of what we see on Twitter with people that are trying to report information. So we'll get into all that. How does it tie into George Karlaftis, and why does it make sense, right? He could be just connecting dots here too. I don't know if he's talking to anybody in the Chiefs organization, but we'll take you through all that. It's pretty interesting when we return on Sports Daily. Don't go away. We're coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood. written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. On your way to work, I want to keep listening to Sports Daily even after you park the car. With the Odyssey app and Odyssey.com, you can. Just download the app, visit Odyssey.com, or search KFH. As we come back, let's give away a little HTO. You can text to win right now a free cup of iced tea from any 3 Wichita Metro locations, East Wichita, West Wichita, or in Derby. Just text that keyword T to the short code 20357. Each entry can go once per day. Message and data rates apply, and come out on Saturday between 11 and 8 when the Maine's Lobster food truck, Cousins Maine's Lobster food truck, rolls onto the parking lot there. You can try out some lobster and get some iced tea while you're at it. So check that out Saturday, 11 to 8. All right, Tommy, we come back. So here's what's going on with the George Karlaftis rumors. Basically, there is an indication that Karlaftis could be up next. Is there any? I don't think there's any other indication than Ricky Scoops on X, which is, it almost feels like a parody account.
I know.
Except he keeps getting things right. He had the Jalen Ramsey trade. He had the DK Metcalf trade. He had the Trey Smith deal. He has all these things before they're coming down. And so you're like, okay, well, I guess we got to pay attention here. Now, that's the reason I think people are talking about it. I don't think I've seen any other reporting from people within the organization or anything that it could be up next. But if the guy keeps getting these right, and he's been pretty spot on a lot of them, I think we should pay attention. But even more than that, it would make some sense for the Chiefs to make their next move soon. And I think when you get beyond the Trey Smith deal and you start looking at the cap, there are a lot of reasons for that. They have, according to overthecap.com, $20 million of cap space right now. $20 million this year after the Trey Smith deal. Next year, they go to $60 million over the cap, and then you get, beyond that, and it's probably too far beyond to really start thinking about for us, for our simple brains. But the reality is they have room this year. They don't have room next year. So there is room on one of your guys who's not making much money at all yet to preemptively front load a deal. And that's, I think, more than anything where Karlaftis and McDuffie come into the conversation, because remember, they'll play out this year and they'll play out next year before you can even need to tag them. Now, we see players want to hold out and do all that stuff all the time before their contracts, their rookie deals are done. So while it makes sense, you get them next year on their rookie deals still. So, but look, they got $20 million right now. It's interesting that it's Karlaftis and not McDuffie that gets brought up. I think it's probably because McDuffie's likely resetting the market. If Sauce Gardner, McDuffie, I think, is as good or better than Sauce Gardner. There's a case to be made for it anyway. They're close to where he may reset the market. Karlaftis is not resetting the market. He averages 8.5 sacks a year. I think he'll be paid a lot. Don't get me wrong. And I'd be hesitant and cautious with that as much as I like the player. But if you're going to front load a deal, this would be the year to front load the deal, because they need to clear up money next year.
Yeah, so they would get him through the end of 2026. Is that right? And the 5th-year option. So they've already exercised that deal. It's interesting because, I mean, don't you think this is Brett Veach playing chess a little bit here? Right? With the whole thought of what they've done in getting they traded away Joe Thuney to re-sign Trey Smith to a long-term deal. I mean, this is like playing chess, not checkers, I think, from Brett Veach.
Well, it's going to need to be. So I have a question, though, on our video stream. I got to ask, because people can see this. Now, if you're on the radio, you can't see this. Was that a little dribble of spit there that just went on the camera?
I have no idea. Either that or a bird pooped in the studio. And
yeah. So I ask you that because I look around in here. We do these shows, and there's no judgment cast because on my computer screen and my keyboard, there's some dried spit.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
It's very suddenly we got a big blur on Tommy if you're watching the video streams. I'm like, what could that did something drop from the ceiling? I'm like, oh no, I bet that was spit.
Pretty sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna own it. Why try to lie about it? Yeah, I think I did.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I couldn't ignore it because it was very obvious to everybody watching us on the video.
It was right on my face.
Yeah, it was literally covering your face. Yes, it is. It's going to be a chess move, but if you want to keep the players, then yeah, there could be some urgency because you'd want as many of those dollars to bleed into this year's cap than before. But what I'll say about next year's, if I go look at Karlaftis's, he's going to be, let me see if I can find him on next year's number. Next year's number for Karlaftis is $15 million. So it's a big number next year, right? This year against the cap, he's at $3.8 million. So I think, I'm going to say this because I don't know for sure. I think if you can make the cap number significantly bigger this year and then lessen it out, especially next year somehow, that's where I think this starts to make some sense. He's going to make 15 against the cap next year anyway. I don't know how much he's worth. Let's just look at a real quick list, because I know these guys have reset the market about 15 times, it feels like. So the average right now per year, Myles Garrett has it reset at 40 a year. George Karlaftis is probably, I'll bet you Karlaftis is looking at, TJ Watt wants a new deal. He's at just under 30. Where would you even put him in on this deal? Bradley Chubb is down at 18.
I mean,
none of these are new deals.
He's got to be like a low 20s kind of player, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking, which would put him in line maybe with like Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for a young guy who's gotten a deal. Greg Rousseau for Buffalo, I think, has signed a new deal. He's just 25 and he's making 20 a year. That's probably a good one to start with. So let's start there. So he's 25 years old, which I think is about where Karlaftis will be. He's making 20 a year, and it's a contract that $50 million was guaranteed in 30. So I would say you're probably not getting Karlaftis for, boy, I'd be surprised if it was less than 25, and I'd be surprised if it was less than 5 years with like basically like 4 guaranteed years, maybe. No, it would. I mean, the fully guaranteed money, just looking at this list, probably going to need to be around 65, 70 million, about 25 a year. Maybe you can do 5 years. That's for Karlaftis. That would put him inside somewhere near the top 10, which is what we've thought, right? We've thought he was going to get paid like probably a top 10 pass rusher. If you can do it and you can get it to the point where you front load the money, you convert a lot of it into a bonus, it goes hard against the cap this year, lessens that $15 million cap blow next year, and then only extends out maybe a year, maybe 2 beyond what you had him for on that rookie deal, then yeah, I do think that probably makes some financial sense for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it does too. I mean, because again, like we've been questioning, or you had been questioning, I know, what's the financial benefit to signing Trey Smith long term? And honestly, having this situation right now where you've got open cap space now to then be able to go and prioritize Karlaftis or McDuffie, which, by the way, McDuffie on the 5th-year option is actually less than Karlaftis. It's like
because he got drafted later.
Right, for sure.
Or no, did he get drafted later?
He got drafted earlier. No, he was the 21st overall pick.
Yeah.
Karlaftis was 30. So
I wonder
McDuffie
why that is.
Probably position ranked, I would imagine, position play. So McDuffie is a lower number for the option for the 5th year. So I think if you've got that flexibility to be able to front load it, and then with that flexibility you have right now, get somebody locked up in a position where, like if you went out on the open market to try to find Karlaftis' replacement, you're going to be paying a lot, or you're going to have to go through the draft again, and you're going to have to try to do it again and try to find somebody else. If you've got a player, like we all know Karlaftis is not the top edge rusher in the league, but he doesn't have to be the top edge rusher.
But he's good.
He's good.
Yeah. And they need him desperately.
They need him desperately because really outside of Chris Jones, like he's the only other pass rusher they've got on that roster that is consistent, right? I know I like Charles Omenihu, but he hasn't been
you're spot on. Yeah.
He hasn't been overly healthy. So I think that having Karlaftis locked up, and from a financial perspective, the freedom and the flexibility to do that right now, that does, I think, lend credibility to the reporting and the rumors that they're going to try to do that.
If you can get this deal done to soften the blow on next year's cap number, I'll rubber stamp it. Like, do I think he's a top 10 defensive end in this league? I think that's debatable.
He's probably around 10. Like he's probably right there, maybe like low teens.
Yeah.
He's better than 15. I think he's at least a top 15 edge rusher in the league.
Let's just real quick. Let's go. When was he drafted? 2022?
Yeah, 2022.
Okay. Let's look at sacks since 2022. And that's, he's not in the top. He's 23rd since his rookie year. Let's then give him a benefit of the doubt on a rookie year and go 2023. So the last 2 seasons, he is 20th. I'll call it. I'll give you top 20. And there are 32 teams in the league. So that's saying something. That means there are 66 starting ends essentially in football. Karlaftis is in the top third of them. Yes, I will agree with that. Yes.
ESPN, Jeremy Fowler posted a list of the top 10 edge rushers entering this season, and Karlaftis was not in the top 10, but he did get honorable mention.
Yeah.
And there were about players that didn't, so if you take that into account, top 15.
Yeah. And that means he's like in the top third, right? Like he's in the top third. So that I'm good with it. That, his salary by the end, if they did that deal we just said, his salary by the end, that's where he would be getting paid. So it makes sense. And the Chiefs need it, and it's been harder to find for them. They may be able to keep him and McDuffie, but it's been harder for them to find pass rushing than it has been high-quality players in the secondary in the Steve Spagnuolo era.
Also, by the way, the top 8 guys, at least in this ranking from Jeremy Fowler, like the edge rushers in the league, it's very, very, very top heavy. Like you've got major, massive stars in the game,
which is why
that are at the very top. Right. Make so much money. And, Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby, like they're Will Anderson, like there are big time names that are at the very top. Karlaftis isn't one of those guys, but he's the very next tier down.
He's a guy that's going to sniff Pro Bowls, probably make a few, have seasons with double-digit sacks. He's a guy that I think all fans and his teammates and coaches love because of the style he plays with, Furious George, right? Like he is an incredibly fun player to watch, but he's not like Trey Smith's deal. Trey Smith might be the best guard in football, right? Creed Humphrey might be the best center in football. Chris Jones might be the best defensive tackle in football. All these, Patrick Mahomes might be the best quarterback. I just don't want to mistake it for that. Okay, he's not that, but he's really good, and the Chiefs need him. And if they can come in and get this to lessen their cap blow next year, and that's all they accomplish in the deal, that's probably pretty good. Next year's going to be a problem, right? The Chiefs don't ever want to take a down year. And when you look, they're going to clear some easy money. They'll clear Jawan Taylor, right? They'll clear probably Travis Kelce, we think at this point. There's going to be easy money coming off the books next year. And so that's going to help to some degree. But this could help a lot, because if you can lessen that $15 million down to whatever it is, and I'm not a cap guy, maybe it's 10. That helps next year when you've got to get other business done. When they probably have a lot of holes on the roster, but almost no money to work into free agency with. You know what I mean? What could $7 extra million do for the Chiefs next year in free agency when all these players leave? A lot. The answer is a lot. Look at what they did this offseason with almost no money. So it makes sense.
They always do. Brett Veach is able to pull rabbits out of the hat every single
This is their
year.
wheelhouse.
He's got these cap issues all the time. That's why when there's always this kind of scared energy around man, I don't know how they're going to navigate the cap. And I'm not saying you're doing this, but in general, they've got all these cap issues and how are they going to afford players and what are they? Brett Veach is a master at navigating the cap. He's the best in the NFL at doing.
He is. And I don't want to take anything away from Brett Veach because I agree with you. He's at least as good as anybody at that, but he also gets the benefit of having Mahomes and Reed, where guys want to come play for less than they might play somewhere else, and that helps. And he does a masterful job of identifying, finding, and continuing to massage it and make that happen. The wildest thing about how he manages the cap is how they do retain most of their stars. They've lost plenty of stars, but most of their stars, especially the ones they draft, they've been able to retain them. They're going to have their wide receiver room's about to get really expensive when it's not expensive at all right now. Like all of these challenges that they're going to have to face down the road, it's pretty impressive to watch them navigate the draft into the future plans. They have to hit on players in the draft, but then all the great work they've done, Tommy, when you also throw in the wrench of how miserable it's been to try to find a consistent left tackle, it's pretty wild. No matter how many swings and misses they've taken at how much money they paying Jawan Taylor right now? Like they don't make all the right decisions. They just make all the decisions they make fit. And that's what's pretty crazy. So I won't be shocked at all if what is it? Ricky Scoops. I won't be surprised at all if Ricky Scoops is right about this one, because it does make some sense for them to go after either Karlaftis or McDuffie and go after them now, because you don't want to just sit there on that money this year, right? Like you don't want to sit with $20 million against the cap. If you can use it to help you next year, use it to help you next year. Now, again, I'm not a cap expert. I don't know how that all works. I don't know how they calculate that stuff. I don't know how it works against the number. But if there is any way you can front load a deal to take the burden now versus next year, do it. And I won't be surprised at all. Now, there are no deadlines, correct?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they can do this whenever. And they may not want to do it once the season starts at that point. And Karlaftis may not want to either. So I would imagine if they want to do something, it's got to be relatively quickly.
Okay. Just got word from Fitz. He is on vacation, but in true Fitz form, he has a setup. Ryan Gilbert, who you've heard here before, his managing editor is going to join the show from Go Power Cat. So we will get some K-State talk when we return. So that's good. We haven't talked. It'd be good to get Ryan's take on this K-State roster too. We know Fitz is bullish. I'm curious to hear some other voices around that K-State program. And football and what's happening, and maybe there is some rumors or rumbling of how they're going to manage their cap, which has been a good point of discussion lately as well. So we'll have that. Ryan Gilbert, GoPowerCat.com, joins us for a little K-State talk when we return. It's Sports Daily. It's Albrecht and Caster. Don't go anywhere.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83-1001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
All right, and welcome back in here to Sports Daily as we get you rocking and rolling on this Thursday. Thursdays mean K-State Conversations with Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com. Fitz on vacation. Has us rejoined again by Ryan Gilbert. And Ryan, we appreciate it. Good to have you back, man. How have you been?
I've been good, guys. How's everything going with y'all?
It's good. We're in the dog days here. Everybody's just trying to make our way to football season. Big 12 Media Days in the books. K-State, we'll start with football. We'll just jump right in, is one of the favorites. There are a bunch of them this year in the Big 12. I would agree with that. Would you agree with that? And what were some of your big takeaways from Frisco and Media Days?
Yeah, there's a lot of good quality teams up at the top of this league. And of course, Kansas State is included in that list. But, obviously Chris Kleiman had some great things to say about some of the other contenders in the top of the league. Arizona State, Iowa State's on there, Baylor. And you look at Kansas State's schedule, Texas Tech, obviously, Kansas State does not have to play Arizona State, but you're playing those other three teams I mentioned. And so the schedule is not particularly easy for Kansas State. I know there's a lot that can change throughout the course of a season. You look back to where we were last year, and teams were a lot better than they were supposed to be. Teams were worse there than supposed to be. So a lot can change, of course, but Kansas State's got some tough games on the list. And I know we've harped on Iowa State a lot, and that's a really important game. I don't think it makes or breaks the season to open up the year out in Ireland, but that's one that's going to be big to set the tone for Kansas State.
Ryan, everything starts with Avery Johnson, as we know, and taking another step forward in his development and his career tenure at Kansas State. We saw a season ago the success that he had, the explosive and dynamic plays, but then we also saw, a little bit of youth and some mistakes that he made throughout the course of the season. What are your expectations for him as he has another year under his belt as the starter for Kansas State?
It's time for Avery Johnson to take that next step as a quarterback, and everybody knows what his talent level can get to. I mean, he's a 4-star recruit, shouldn't need much of an endorsement from anybody that's followed him throughout his football career. But he's got to grow and get better. And as a true sophomore, he had his fair share of mistakes. 10 interceptions for Avery Johnson. You look back at maybe the game at BYU in Provo. A lot went wrong in that game, but Avery Johnson certainly kind of let things unravel. And, that was, I don't want to say the moment was too big for him, but that was definitely a learning experience in a hostile environment that I think he knows now that you've truly got to take things one play at a time. You can't get everything back in one play. You got to chip away when you're down and when you're hitting adversity, just truly hitting the reset button, not letting things kind of snowball. So obviously maturity-wise, I think he's ready to be more of that leader. Last year at this time, Avery Johnson, we talked about this at Media Days, he knew, you've got to be the leader as a quarterback. That is your job. People are going to look up to you. Where we are now, though, he's just much more comfortable in that position. It remains true that he knows he has to be the leader, but now with the year under his belt as the starter, he just kind of feels more confident and ready to be that guy. So decision-making is going to have to be a little bit better as well. I mentioned those interceptions. Some of those were just misfires, but, Avery Johnson's accuracy can get better. Maybe, throwing guys open, rather, wait till they're open. You've got to just make those quick, decisive throws. So he's going to have to take some steps this year. And obviously he's had some highlights throughout his career at Kansas State, but eliminating some of those mistakes will be key in 2025.
They will be. I think his weaponry, Ryan Gilbert, GoPowerCat.com, managing editor, joining us here on Sports Daily. His weaponry, I think, is going to be fine. I know it's new faces in a lot of places at receiver, but he's got all those tight ends, whatever they can get out of Lincoln Cure. Dylan Edwards is back in the swing. I think my biggest concern on this team, Ryan, is what happens on the offensive line. Is this group going to be good enough to get K-State where it wants to be, which is the Big 12 champion?
I would say the upside is certainly there. Brian Hanley, who's one of our football analysts at Go Power Cat, he was at Media Days with us, and he said, like you said, this team will go as far as the offensive line can take them. And, there's with so many, new pieces in there in that mix, a lot of it's just going to come down to gelling together. And it's very important. You don't have that warm-up game against No Name State to open up the season. You've got a big game against Iowa State, so you've got to hit the ground running if you're that offensive line. And Kansas State, when in 2022, winning the Big 12, offensive line was great, played a big part in that. I don't want to say the offensive line was bad or poor last year, but I think K-State knows it can get back up to that elite level that it maybe once had the offensive line at. Won't be easy with Connor Riley departing to the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. However, Connor Riley last year was, co-offensive coordinator, had maybe some more on his plate. So K-State can get back to its offensive line coach, Brian LePack, simply, solely focusing on that offensive line rather than having to juggle some other stuff.
The running game is going to look different too going into this season. DJ Giddens not on the team anymore, and it's really Dylan Edwards. And I know that there are a couple of other notable guys in that running back room. Do you anticipate or imagine that Dylan Edwards will be the bell cow of the running game, or will we see more of a running back by committee like we did in the past couple of years?
That's interesting because Dylan Edwards in the bowl game 100% proved that he can be that every down back, that bell cow, like you said. He was great. He was able to handle the workload that he got, but you just look at Dylan Edwards, his structure, his strength. He's not the biggest guy in the world. And so can he carry the ball or touch the ball, 20, 25 times a game throughout the course of a 12-game season? I'm not sure if he's really equipped to be that DJ Giddens. Now he proved he can, but over the course of a year, that might be a different story. Joe Jackson is absolutely going to be a part in the offense. How big? Obviously, that remains to be seen. But Dylan Edwards is just an interesting situation because of his pass catching abilities. And I know DJ Giddens could make some things happen through the air just off of some basic screens and checkdowns last year. But Dylan Edwards has got some true speed. And obviously, I know this was a topic last year that fans harped on, was the usage of Dylan Edwards. A lot of people wanted to see more of him. And so who knows, I guess let me rephrase that. Dylan Edwards, who knows what he could be capable of, right? Like, I don't know if K-State fans or K-State has seen the ceiling of Dylan Edwards. He's got the speed. I do think he kind of tapped into that and showed that off in the Right Bowl to close out last year. But Dylan Edwards, I don't want to call him the gadget guy, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him splitting out wide, catching passes, jet sweeps, doing, Matt Wells in the offense doing anything they can to get him involved rather than just an ISO up the middle, because that was DJ Giddens' bread and butter. And if it wasn't broken, you don't have to fix it. So K-State was happy to hand the ball off to DJ Giddens, let him do his thing. I think Edwards, you got to get a little bit more creative with him.
I think it's interesting. It's only his frame, right? The only reason we even have this conversation is because of his size. That dude touched the ball, it felt like, on every play in high school. Like and I know high school is not the same as college, obviously, but maybe he just is a smaller dude that is capable of it. I think that's entirely possible. I don't know that I'm advocating for it, but I think he could handle it if they wanted to go that route.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at the NFL, there's small backs that are, I wouldn't say every down backs, but guys that have, Darren Sproles is a great example of a guy that had a long career despite being a pretty small guy.
And how often did he carry the ball at K-State? I mean, I don't remember. It was a lot, though. He wasn't really like a gadget player, and he's no different, than Dylan Edwards as far as size goes.
Yeah. I wish Fitz was here, because Fitz, I'm a little too young for this. Fitz is the old head. He'll know. He have a better scouting report on Darren Sproles, right? But obviously he was, he lasted a long time, college and NFL, with his usage.
We got to ask you about the new world of college athletics and college football and revenue sharing and salary caps and, different things like that in college football and college sports and how it relates to Kansas State. I know the House settlement, we're less than a month into that with revenue sharing and everything with these different schools. Have you guys seen any changes or any movement or direction as to the direction that K-State's going?
As far as the last, couple of weeks since July hit, not really. That rev share, I guess we haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of the impacts of that. But you look at the roster size and the House, all that. Kansas State had to let some guys go. I'm sure you guys have touched on that a lot with Fitz over the last couple of months. But you're seeing a smaller roster, and it's unfortunate for you don't know what's going to happen, and so you have to tell these guys, hey, might be in your best interest to go find a spot just so you know that you can play. Obviously, rules change, and so these guys, a lot of them aren't going to just come back. But it's unfortunate that K-State had to let go of some guys that, truly, you look at over the last couple of years, a Brendan Mott, a DJ Giddens, some of these guys, who knows if they would have been given a chance if it was that 105 size was a thing or not. So over the last couple of years, last couple of weeks, there hasn't been a whole lot of maybe notable movement with this rev share. But I think over the coming months and coming years, we'll see kind of the changes of that come to life.
So do you think, is K-State, I assume K-State will have no problem getting to the number of 20-ish million. How much of that are they going to carve out for basketball, men's and women's, I suppose? That's been a huge topic, is what happens with these schools that are very interested in being good at both, and how do they divvy that up? Have they given any indication of that yet?
Yeah, they're obviously, the numbers aren't publicly out there, but football gets a big chunk of it, and then basketball, followed by women's basketball, like you said, and then the rest is kind of just sparingly shared throughout the rest of the athletic of teams. But yeah, football, men's basketball, women's basketball are definitely your big winners there in terms of that 20-ish million.
Ryan Gilbert, GoPowerCat.com. What do you guys have for us this week?
Man, I'm trying to hold down the fort with Fitz out of town on vacation. I'm trying to run the site. Obviously, we'll have articles up every day, and a podcast with myself and Cole Carmody is going to go up here in, I think, about a couple hours at 11 o'clock on the YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out.
We will. GoPowerCat.com. Ryan Gilbert, follow him on X and everywhere else. Ryan, we appreciate you stepping in this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys very much.
There goes Ryan Gilbert. Good stuff there. Yeah, Tommy, man, if you told me right now that the K-State offensive line would be, let's call it good. Let's just call it good. I think they got a great chance to get it done this year.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that that's going to be probably a major focus of making sure that offensive line takes another step forward. Because I mean, that's going to be key, especially when you are having to block for Dylan Edwards and when you need to protect Avery Johnson, who's a mobile type quarterback, and all of that. You've got to have a solid offensive line, and so if they can take that step forward and be a good to great offensive line, that's probably going to be the key to whether or not Kansas State can compete for a Big 12 title.
Can't wait to see it. Boy, they start the season with a bang, don't they? Ireland, Iowa State. You kidding me? That's fantastic. All right, we'll be back. We got more Sports Daily. Don't go away.